You can see how quickly it starts to develop once you really just get those general values in the correct places. Revisit this flower. It's over here in the corner, and I want to keep it nice and soft since it's towards the edge. I don't want it to draw your eye away from the focal point. I want to make sure it has that sense of light and shadow to it. Mixing up a little bit more of that light. I'm using that permanent magenta, which gives me that really intense pink red. I'm using a little bit of alizarin with that mixture. Come back and just soften a couple of these edges. Don't want to over commit to anything at this stage. And then clean up a couple edges on this pink rose, using a little bit more of that cadmium red light and my titanium white. That nice soft pink. It looks like it's a little bit towards the left of the center. It's about here. Just really pay attention to the shape of this. Just like that, you can really get a petal in. Just you pay attention to the shape and how it turns in space. And you're just very attentive. I want to make sure now it's going to be just a little bit lighter in the lightest spot where the form is facing the light on this rose. It's right about here. A little bit lighter, just a little bit. And then I'll come back in and develop some of these shadows from the petals. It's going to have some transparent oxide red and maybe a little bit of alizarin and yellow ochre in that mixture. Just squinting and finding where things fall into one another and trying to simplify shapes down. And I'll come up, connect these shapes together. It's going to get a little bit more red. So add a little bit of cad red light to that. It's a nice strong red. And you'll get that nice deep red at the core. I'm gonna add just a little bit of yellow ochre because I don't want this to be too red. I'll come back and fix that shape right here. And get all of these shapes as they're catching the light. And it's that same concept of kind of like a bowl or a cup that I talked about in my previous video with the sunflower exercise, how it catches that light as the form rounds. It's catching that light, and then there's shadow on this side. So it'll have a little bit more of a gradiated transition on the shape. And this will catch just a little hint of light as that petal twists right here. I'll just fix that shape right there. And then since it's all in shadow, it's going to fade. Really nice soft fade transition. So I'll pull that dark background into it, and then I can adjust it a little more as I go. Go just a little bit lighter at the brightest point right here to really show that form catching that light right there. This shape is actually further over, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Shape will come over that. And the shadow merges into that, and then I can cut into that with the rose behind it. Just like that. I'll do a little bit more adjustment right over here. Getting the dark petal. Make it a little bit cooler. Mix up a little bit more of that nice dark green. And just fix a couple of those values over here into that shape. I'll quickly address this copper. I don't want it to take away from the rest of the painting, but I want to give it enough tension for it to read. I'll use a lot of transparent oxide red And then some titanium white to get that nice highlight color.